Family, it's not business as usual in Kenya. The updates of what is happening, the developments that are happening in the Kenyan protests are beginning to be very, very interesting. As we see that the citizens of Kenya have remained resolute. Citizens of Kenya, they are not giving up. They are not throwing in the towel. Citizens of Kenya are rising up for what is right. They are demanding for their rights. The battle is on, and things are getting totally out of hand. And the Kenyan government has continued to come heavy-handed on the picketers, but it seems that the picketers are coming out even more resolute and more powerful. This is what we are seeing happening to the citizens that are demanding for their rights from a government, the citizens that are telling a government that they do not accept what the government is trying to impose upon them. The finance bill that President Ruto's government is trying to impose on the Kenyan people is really being resisted by the Kenyan people. And this is what it is called the power of the people. I've always been saying that the military, the police, the CIO is not more powerful than the people. The people have the power. If people are gathered together, if people are resolute, if people know what they want, if people can lose their fear, they lose their power. And definitely this is what people of Africa must start to learn, that governments must never be taking the citizens of its country for granted. What we have seen happening in Zimbabwe is very abnormal. We cannot accept to have a government that continues to kill its people, butcher people, slaughter its people, and they speak like gods as if they have our lives in their hands. No ways. Zimbabwean people are the owners of the land. Zimbabwean people are the people that carry the power, and they demand and they command all the influence and all the rights of how Zimbabwe must be run, not individuals. That is a lie from the pit of hell. The owners of the land are the citizens of that land. So Kenyan people have remained united. Kenyan people have thrown their fear in the dustbin, and they have risen to demand for what is right. And we are seeing the government beginning to be defeated right now. In the other show where I'm going to be talking about, I will tell you about the new development that has just happened about the members of parliament of the opposition who have joined in the demonstration. So we are going to be looking into that. Very, very exciting what is happening. So let me just be showing you some of the videos of what is happening in Kenya. Very, very strong war that is happening, a very strong resistance from the citizens of Kenya, and that definitely is going to yield results.
But one of the other concerns here has been about prominent social media users that have gone missing in the last few days. I'm here with Irongo Horton, who's the executive director of Amnesty International. What more do we know about these missing users?
I mean, as Amnesty International, we are horrified by some of the testimonies we've heard over the last 24 hours. We have probably about 12 people unaccounted for who have been picked up, in many cases by people who are uniformed or not uniformed, but essentially they have been abducted in the middle of the night, and there has been no opportunity for them to get either legal assistance or for their families to know what is happening with them. And I think this has to be the most contradictory management of a protest that we have seen in probably 20 years.
Can you hear this? This is very, very sad. Imagine Ruto is supposed to be a Christian, according to the way that we understand. He's supposed to be a Christian, this man. He's supposed to be a God-fearing man, this man. But Ruto is proving to the Kenyan people that he wants to be a dictator. He's far from being a saint like he wanted to purport. And look at it. Can you see, family? We are always talking about the power. I'm always telling you about the power of social media. And I always say that never underestimate what we are doing. Never underestimate Chatufa TV Productions, because the messages that we are sending are powerful. And dictators, they are shaking in their bones. ZANU-PF, they hate us to the guts because they know that we continue to conscientize people, we give people the knowledge, we give people the information, and they don't want that to happen. Look at what they are doing in Kenya, following up all the people that are on social media, and they are abducting them at night, and they don't. Up to now, they are not known where they are.
On one hand, you have the Ministry of Interior saying that the protests will be respected, that the article, the freedom of assembly, is sacrosanct and they will respect that. But on the other hand, we have officers in vehicles, police vehicles, going around and arresting protesters.
Can you hear the double standards? That's how an unfaithful government, a rogue government operates, because they are going to be they are double-tongued. On one side, they are saying, no, it is well, it's their right. Yet on the other, they are under the carpets, they are discussing about abducting people and, probably even killing. Because we've had quite a lot of killings that have already happened in the protests of Kenya.
So who you think the police are the ones that arrested these 12 people?
We have no doubt that many of these cases are police officers. We have had not just license plates, but we have had even testimonies of people who were there when they were being abducted by people who said that they were police officers. But the pattern is very clear. It seems to be that this is a special unit operating under the auspices of the Nairobi Regional Commander, Adamson Bungei, and it is not operating within the normal practices of police, which essentially would be that you are essentially informed of the charges of why you've been arrested. In many cases, people are just being arrested. They've been taken to police stations or to other locations, but it is impossible for us to be able to reach people quickly. And that's
so it's very, very sad. Can you hear the developments? I'm not going to be playing the rest of the video, but let me just be showing you some of the things that are happening around Kenya. Very, very, very sad developments. Can you see there was a deceased person there? It seems it looked like a police officer.
Coming in. We're going to show you new pictures coming out of the Kenyan capital of Nairobi. What you're looking at right there is protesters have breached the Parliament building. Advanced, we're told, inside the building. There's also been tear gas and live rounds being fired by police as these protests have been unfolding. Let's get over to Sina's Larry Madowo. He's on the ground there. Larry, bring us up to speed. What are you seeing? What's happening?
Kate, we're outside Kenya's parliament and protesters breached the wall of the National Assembly. This is what you see here, that's broken down. And after that happened, we saw police using live rounds to fire at protesters who were largely unarmed. You still see them back there holding firearms. And this went on for several minutes. But protesters still did make their way inside Parliament, made their way inside the floor of Kenya's Parliament, and stole the mace. We saw them make out of the Parliament with the mace of the National Assembly. And they said, if they pass this controversial finance bill, then they should sleep inside Parliament, referring to Kenya's lawmakers. It's been an extremely extraordinary scene here, with police battling protesters using water cannon and using tear gas, but the protesters kept pushing them back closer and closer. Their intention was to occupy Parliament. These mostly youth protesters had declared 7 days of rage, and today they had declared it a day of a total shutdown, and that's what you see here. You can still hear tear gas in the air, canisters getting fired repeatedly, but the protesters made it all this way. They burnt down this police truck here, which they only managed to put out a short while ago. But this is still the scene outside the National Assembly, with police, lots of them in the hundreds, trying to beat back the protesters. They retreat briefly, and then they make their way back here.
Right, so there it is. So you see, the resistance is on, and it's becoming more. So it's not going to be business as usual. I'm telling you, the people are angry. This is what we call people power. this is exactly what we call people power. When people have gained their power, when they exercise their power, they can defeat armies, they can defeat the police, they can defeat anyone. The dictatorship that we see in Zimbabwe can lie down. I've been telling you that ZANU-PF can lie down just in a single day if Zimbabwean people really make their minds to say enough is enough. So this is what is happening in Kenya. We will continue to be giving you updates, and I'll be also giving you, when we cross over to the main channel, I'll be giving you some more updates about what is happening in Kenya. Thank you so much for joining me on the show. For those that have not subscribed to this channel, subscribe, like, and share, and continue to support this platform. We will continue to be giving you updates and news of what is happening.